What's going on, everybody? It's your pal Kookie McGee, aka Keegan here, back with another video once again, and it's time for another movie review video. So today we're going to talk about 4 films that I saw in theaters recently. So let's take a look at them. First up is 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, which was directed by Nia DaCosta. And this is the second film in the 28 Years trilogy, although the 5th film in the franchise overall. I saw this one last Monday, and I gotta say, it was a big improvement over the previous film, 28 Years Later, which I was really disappointed with 28 Years Later. I had a lot of high hopes for it, but it just didn't really do it for me. But I enjoyed The Bone Temple a lot more. Although, sadly, this movie isn't doing very well in the box office. It bombed 2 weekends in a row, and it kind of begs the question, will the third movie ever be released? Well, I'm hoping it will be released. But who knows? But all I know for sure is that this movie is not doing very well in the box office. Probably because the previous film was very polarizing to some people, and maybe some of those people who didn't like the previous film didn't want to bother with this one, which is kind of a shame. I would say give this one a try. As someone who didn't really like the first 28 Years Later, I thought this was a big improvement over the previous film. I really enjoyed this movie over the previous film. I'd say it's the best movie in the 28 blank later franchise since the original movie 28 Days Later. Has some good performances. It's pretty gory. Had some good parts, and I especially loved the use of the Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden near the end of the film. That was probably my favorite part of the whole movie. And Ray Fiennes was great in the movie, and Jack O'Connell as the film's antagonist, Jimmy Crystal. He was really good in this movie. And Jack O'Connell, you might recognize him from the movie Sinners. He was also the antagonist in that movie as well. I also heard he was supposed to be really good in the movie Eden Lake, which I haven't seen, but I really want to check that one out at some point. And I really like the ending of the film too. Although I don't want to spoil it, but once you watch the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. And it's kind of a shame that this movie is not doing very well in the box office, but here's to hoping that they will release the third and final film in the trilogy, but I'm sure they will. But hopefully. But all in all, I really enjoyed this film. This film was a great improvement over the previous film, and even though we're at the end of January, this is one of my favorite, well, it's my favorite movie of the year so far, although it probably won't stay number 1 for long. But it's currently one of my favorite movies of the year already, and we're at the end of January, so this was a surprise. Because usually most movies that come out in January is usually the dumping ground for shitty movies. But this is one of the few that's not a shitty movie released in January. But I really enjoyed this one and highly recommend it. Even if you didn't like 28 Years Later, I would recommend giving this one a try. Just try it out. I think you would like it. So I'm giving 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, an 8.5 out of 10. Next up is Dead Man's Wire, the new film from director Gus Van Sant. This is the same director of films like Drugstore Cowboy, My Own Private Idaho, Good Will Hunting, Elephant, and Milk, just to name a few of his movies. I saw this film last Thursday, and I thought it was great. This film is based on a true story that happened in 1977, where a man named Tony took the president of a mortgage company hostage. I forgot the name of the company, but he took him hostage with a shotgun, and he had this wire around the guy's neck. So if the police shot him, and if he were to fall on the ground, the shotgun would go off and kill him. And the reason he did that was because he believed the mortgage company sabotaged his construction plans because he was falling behind the payment or something, and he wanted to get revenge on the mortgage company that he claimed screwed him over. And the film stars Bill Skarsgård, Al Pacino, Colman DiMaggio, and a couple of other people. I really, really enjoyed this one, and I thought it was pretty great. It's just your simple hostage film based on a true story, and I found the real story really interesting. And Bill Skarsgård, who plays Tony, I thought he did a good job in this movie. And Al Pacino, he wasn't in the movie for very long, but I thought he did pretty good in the film. And Colman DiMaggio, he's great as always. He's a damn good actor. Had some good music, and the set designs look really, really good too, especially for the cars that they use in the film. And it looks like they traveled back in time to 1977 to film this movie. But other than that, it's a great movie. While not the very best film that Van Sant has ever done, I still thought it was a great movie. I really, really enjoyed this one, and I would probably check this one out again. But all in all, great film from Mr. Gus Van Sant, and this was actually his first film since I'm trying to remember the name of the last movie he did. I think it was called Don't Worry, He Won't Get That Far on Foot. That was from like 2018, I believe. So this was his first movie in over 7 years, 7 or 8 years. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. So I'm giving Dead Man's Wire an 8 out of 10. Next up is Big Shark, which was written and directed by and starring Tommy Wiseau, the same director of The Room, which I already talked about The Room back in season 5, and that movie is probably the best so bad it's good movie ever made. And funny enough, I actually watched this one back to back with The Room. And before I actually talk about the movie itself, you guys probably saw on my Instagram or on my community posts over the past weekend, I went to the screening of this movie and The Room back to back, and I met Greg Sestero, who would go on to sign a Blu-ray copy of The Room, which I have over there on the shelf, and the first draft of the script for The Room, which I have somewhere in my room, but I'm not going to show that in this video. And I got a picture with him, and yeah, it was really, really nice. He was a really nice guy, I gotta say. But anyways, this movie follows a group of firefighters who are out to stop a shark attack taking place in New Orleans, and literally the shark just comes out of the concrete or anywhere and just eats people, and they're trying to find this treasure for some reason, but it's never fully explained what the treasure is supposed to be. Well, if you've watched The Room, or if you've heard of The Room, then you probably know what to expect with this movie. Now, if you've watched The Room, then you'll know this is going to be a stupid movie, a movie that's stupid on purpose. So obviously don't take it seriously, just turn your brain off and enjoy. Watch it with some friends, or if you're lucky enough to live near a movie theater, like the one that I go to when I went to go see this movie, like an independent theater, like that screens The Room or this movie, then go see it. Because watching it in theaters with a big crowd of people is the best way to watch this movie. Or any movie in general that's so bad it's good. Because watching those with a big crowd is the best. Even if you're watching it with like 4 or 5 or more friends. While obviously this movie isn't nearly as amazing as The Room, because I don't think anything could surpass The Room, this one was still a lot of fun to watch, especially with a big crowd. But anyways, I had a lot of fun watching this one, and it was nice to meet Greg Sestero, who was in this movie and in The Room as well. He played Mark in The Room. So I'm giving Big Shark a 9.5 out of 10. And the last film for this video is The Testament of Ann Lee, which was directed by Mona Fastavolt, who also co-wrote the screenplay for this film with director Brady Corbett, which is kind of ironic because both Mona Fastavolt and Brady Corbett also wrote the screenplay for the movie The Brutalist, in which Brady Corbett directed. I already talked about that movie in one of my movie review videos that I uploaded last year. If you want to check that video out, it's on my channel. I really enjoyed The Brutalist, although I would love to give that one a second watch at some point. This movie is a musical biopic based on Ann Lee, who was the founder of the Shaker movement, in which Ann Lee was a woman who was the, quote, self-proclaimed wife of Jesus Christ, and tried to recruit followers of her movement. And I honestly didn't really know this was actually based on a true story until once the credits started rolling, because it mentioned like the remaining members of the movement, which there's only like 2 or 3 people left. Now I wasn't a big fan of this movie. I thought it was okay. I mean, it had its moments. It had some good music. It had some really good set designs and some really good cinematography and visuals. And to top it off, Amanda Seyfried was really, really good in this movie. But I don't know. This movie just didn't really stick with me as well as I thought, and it just wasn't really for me. Not because it was a musical. I mean, I know I've said this many times in the past. I'm not really big into musicals, but I was actually curious about this one, especially since this movie got some I think it got some Oscar. No, I don't know if it got any Oscar nominations. I can't remember, but I think Amanda Seyfried was nominated for Best Actress for this movie. I thought she did really good in this movie. But I don't know. This movie just didn't really connect with me. But there were some things I enjoyed with it, but I just wasn't a huge fan of the movie overall. But I mean, it was all right. I kind of forgot even what happened during this movie, but I don't know. I may give it another chance in the future, but when I saw this movie in theaters last weekend, it just really wasn't for me, but I am willing to give it another chance in the future. But it wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't a great movie either, but it had its moments, but I thought it was okay. So I'm giving The Testament of Ann Lee a 6 out of 10. Well, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. As always, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like, comment below, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos that'll be coming out soon. But in the meantime, this is Cookie McGee signing off. Thanks for watching. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you all later. And take it easy, guys. Peace.